Morning, Hugh.
I've done nothing except talk about the vacancy for 2 days, Senator. You heard the numbers. 102 people want you to vote before the election. 2 are opposed. What say you?
Well, I've been adamant about getting the nominee out there, which I think we're going to get on Saturday, and quickly into committee, and yes, voting before election. There are too many variables when we're sitting with controlling the presidency and the Senate to let it go beyond that. So plenty of time to do it. We've learned how to move things through the Senate when it comes to appointments, and I think in this case we need to exercise all our skills in doing it. And most people I'm talking to within our conference, I think, are leaning that the same direction. Some think it may just, out of necessity, need to be where we do it after the election. I think that's fraught with risks, and I want to see it done before.
Do you know, Senator, I think Republicans will get wiped out. All of your colleagues, you won 2 years ago, so you're not up this time. But I believe all of your colleagues who are running will get wiped out if this is not done before the election. I think Republicans will stay home if this is not done. Are your colleagues aware of the urgency that is felt in the base that the Republican coalition move quickly?
I hope so. I mean, we had a meeting that was solely on this subject yesterday at lunch, and I cited 2 years ago, almost to the date, we had the Kavanaugh proceedings, and we were in the stretch run of my race and Josh Hawley's, and we were toss-up races. We were a little ahead in our internals, but almost from the moment Joe Donnelly said he was going to vote against Kavanaugh, and then when Kavanaugh made it across the finish line, it took a toss-up race and added another 2 or 3 points that we could measure instantly. And then from that point through the election, which I think was November 8th, 2 years ago, but anyway, we ended up winning by 6 points, and Holly was right there in that same place. So you've got the most recent example of what it did to get the 2 critical races across the finish line just 2 years ago.
And I believe it is because the Republican Party and independents deeply resent being told by judges how to live their lives on the Second Amendment, on freedom of religion, on free exercise of religion, on property rights. They deeply resent the liberal courts, and therefore they expect Republicans to nominate and Republican senators to confirm originalists. Now, your colleague, Senator Ben Sasse, pointed to a couple of articles that came out yesterday in Newsweek and Reuters against Judge Amy Coney Barrett, who is a Hoosier, teaches at Notre Dame until she went on to the bench, that were anti-Catholic, attacked her for being Catholic. And Senator Sasse said, quote, "These ugly smears against Judge Barrett are a combination of anti-Catholic bigotry and QAnon-level stupidity. People of Praise is basically a Bible study. And just like billions of Christians around the world, Judge Barrett reads the Bible, prays, and tries to serve her community. Senators should condemn this wacky McCarthyism," close quote. I see this anti-Catholicism often, Senator. I'm a Catholic, so I am very aware of it. Do you know Judge Barrett? Do you believe that your Democratic colleagues will indulge this kind of bigotry?
I hope not, but when it comes to indulging anything, when you're passionate about policy from the other side, nothing seems to be beyond the pale. So sadly, I think that's going to occur. I think her record judicially and generally will keep it to where it doesn't get into the histrionic stage of what the Kavanaugh proceedings kind of devolved into. So I think that that's going to be less of an issue this time around than what it was 2 years ago. That doesn't mean that they're not going to pull out all the stops to try to take it in that direction. So I come from arguably one of the most Catholic communities and counties in the country. It's DuBois County, Jasper, Indiana. I think we've got 13 or 14 parishes within our 42,000 population county. So Notre Dame being in the state, do not know Amy. You asked that earlier, but I have done a lot of research on her. She's a constitutionalist. She won't legislate from the bench. And even though Feinstein tried to get her with it, your Catholic dogma, she to me is one that knows how to separate your religious beliefs from your judicial renderings and responsibility. Feel very comfortable there. I'd be disappointed if she's not the nominee. We got a great slate of other ladies as well. I just want to make sure that we don't drop the ball in terms of being expeditious with it. If this goes past the election, I'm saying the odds are against us getting someone across. That's how many different variables can enter into the picture.
I think you'll lose the Senate. That's my opinion talking to people across the United States. Now, people self-select when they call a radio show, but I got 300 affiliates and 6 million listeners. So when they call up and are adamant that the Republicans act, if the Republicans don't act, I think we'll lose the Senate. And I think Leader McConnell knows that and Chairman Graham knows that. Let me ask you, Senator Braun, if it came up at lunch or if you can't tell me if you are concerned. Speaker Pelosi indulged the idea of a fake impeachment article in order to derail the nominee that the president announces on Saturday. If they move to impeachment articles, would the Senate immediately suspend and move to the consideration of the nominee?
I think so. I think that would be dispatched with, deflected quickly, and that's where someone like Leader McConnell has the spine to do it, and he certainly has all the tools and knowledge of how to do it. I'm just hoping that with this time we've got, regardless of the threats that come from the other side, that we do not get distracted, stay on point, get this across the finish line. One big variable that was eliminated would have been Senator Romney when he said if a vote is put out there, he's going to vote for the nominee. And that, to me, took a lot of the kind of nail-biting out of the equation. So a lot of things have fallen in place. To me, shame on us if we don't get it done.
You know, Senator, I've known Governor Romney. I know you call him Senator Romney now. I've known him since 2006 when I wrote a book about him. I never had a minute's doubt. He's a constitutionalist. He's an originalist. He ran for president twice on that. I never had a minute doubt. Now, I think Susan Collins reflects Maine, which is divided over this, and she wants to wait. And I understand Lisa Murkowski is pro-choice, and she wants to wait. But I think you still have 51 votes, right?
Still should have 51 votes. I've not heard of anyone else wavering, but it's like anything. Time to me is your enemy on something like this because look how that was used in terms of delay and smoke screens during the Kavanaugh hearings. And even though there's nothing out there that's apparent, the Dems will be doing everything and throwing the kitchen sink at this to derail it. And going through an election so recently, I know how resourceful and conniving they are with the stuff they come up with. It's totally baseless, lies and distortions when they run campaigns against you. They'll do the same thing here.
Senator Braun, thank you so much. It is good to have you on the side of urgency, and I hope you continue to press your Republican colleagues for speed. Speed is the necessary ingredient here. Thank you, Senator Braun.
You can count on it. Thank you, Hugh.